Alright y'all, welcome back to another YouTube video on the Shape Fitness channel. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not been to the gym in like 3 days. So we're just gonna cut straight to it. We're gonna get right into it. Chest and back, roll the clips. Welcome back to another video on my channel. The reason for the little 3-day hiatus is a combination of a few things. I came down with a little bit of a cold, but we're overcoming that right now. Second thing is my Subaru. I've got a lot of things going on with it right now as far as upgrades, and I've been kind of involved in doing that, trying to use the daylight as much as I can to actually perform some of those modifications. Because right now, 6:30 p.m., I opted to do my 45 minutes of cardio before my workout just due to it being so heavily crowded in here. So back workout first. That's generally how I like to start my back and chest days, chest and back days, whatever you want to call it, whatever order. I don't know, I just feel it better when I start on back. We're gonna try and go pretty heavy today, but still controlled. Biggest thing right now is, again, moving the weight with intention. Point A to point B, not swinging it, not using momentum. Smartly moving the muscle, contracting, feeling it. That's where the most gains are going to be made. So that's the path forward for today, and we'll see you at our first workout. All right, y'all. So I'm a goofball, and I did not film any audio for any of this. So we're going to try something new, and I'm going to narrate for the entire video. We'll see how that goes. Let's get back into it. See here today, we're starting with an incline chest press. So this is actually a new machine that they just got at Iron. So I loaded it up with the plate to start to kind of get a feel for the machine, the positioning, the severity of the load. So just normally for most chest exercises, I can probably throw a couple plates on the machine depending on what it is. So kind of just feeling this out. This is the first time that I was using this machine actually. One plate felt pretty good, so I decided to go straight to 2 plates. So yeah, obviously, especially during like a bodybuilding sort of prepping phase, I'm going to want to pay attention to the speed of my reps. Ideally, they should be a little bit slower than what I'm going right now, but you can see that I'm controlling the negative, the eccentric of the actual movement. That is important because scientifically that is where you will see the most stimulus and the most muscle growth is actually being able to control the negative. Rep range, I'm doing 10 for this, so 10 decently controlled reps. I probably should have dropped the weight to probably a plate and a quarter, just to get a little bit more control. It doesn't look like I'm hitting full range of motion either. Generally, I like to stay within 90 and 10% of full ROM. Just, I don't know, that's a personal preference kind of thing. So I never lock fully out, and I'm never fully stretched, which kind of just is counterintuitive to what I just said. You should get full stretch. But I think full stretch is more important than actual full contraction. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up at this incline chest press. I did like it quite a bit. It's just the seating position was a little bit weird. So you kind of just kick your butt out to make it more of a chest exercise than a shoulder exercise. So moving right along to lat pull downs. Generally, I like to start with a warm-up
for the first exercise of every muscle group that I'm going to be working out that day. So as you saw in the chest press, I loaded up one plate, and then I did a few reps at one plate just to warm up. So the best warm up for an exercise is just to do that warm up at a lighter weight or less extensive. So again, I'm doing my first back exercise is going to be a lat pull down. So I did it at a lighter weight. You can see on the stack now that this is my actual working set. So I definitely moved it up some weight that I was warmed up. Moving on from these exercises, I actually don't do any more warm-ups because essentially my back is now warm and I no longer have to keep the weight light for the first set to warm up. And the first set for warming up isn't going to be counted as like a working set or anything like that. So I'll go in and I'll generally hit 4 sets, but for those first couple exercises, by all technicalities, I'll hit 5 sets. But the first set doesn't count because it's a warm-up. It's a warm-up set, not a working set. Yeah, so a few angle switch-ups here. Definitely using a lot of momentum on this exercise right here. You don't want to be really pulling back with your body to get the weight moving. You kind of want to, although you do want your body to move from the upright position because you want it to pull you up and stretch you out, and then at the full contraction portion, when you're driving your elbows past your back, you're going to want to pull to just below your nipples, right at your sternum, and to get it like that, you're going to have to lean back. So now we are on to another incline press. This time we're doing dumbbells. We're doing 80s. Another rep range of 10. These do look pretty slow and pretty controlled, good range of motion. I do see a lot of people not dropping the dumbbell far enough down to get that full stretch. For me, it kind of varies depending on the thickness of the dumbbell. You'll see here, I get it pretty close to, if not touching my shoulder, just to give me a little bit of recognition that I'm hitting full range of motion. And all these things that I'm saying are just on personal experience and personal research. So I do watch a lot of videos of bodybuilders and scientific lifters on the optimal or the optimization of certain lifts. Everything's always changing, but this is usually what works best for me. But yeah, big thing there is keeping your shoulder blades squeezed and tucked, chest up, and keep your butt tucked into the seat. Alright, so moving on from incline dumbbell chest press, we're doing pullovers. So generally I like to use a rope of some sort, just so I can get my hands to maybe go past my hips a little bit. This is an exercise where people actually struggle a lot to get the proper form. The kind of way that I like to describe it is, you ever see those professional ski jumpers at the Olympics that launch themselves off? So you're kind of doing that with the rope. Keep your arms at a steady angle, pull towards your hips, try and drive through your hips, and as you pull through, lift your chest up, and generally you're going to want a more horizontal back stretch position to stretch the muscle. Moving on to here, my favorite workout probably for aesthetics. This is just a great shot personally. Cable seated rows, seated cable rows. This is working lower and mid back, just depending on where you pull. And obviously, you can see that I have a pretty good mind-muscle connection to this one. Using a little bit of swaying here, which you generally don't want to try and do, but also you do want to get that full stretch. And when you contract at the top, you don't want to break a 90 plane. just so you can actually focus the muscle to contract at the right spot. Just definitely do it slower so you don't build momentum and actually let that build up. All right, moving on to another incline press. Looks like I'm heavily favoring incline chest movements. Generally, I think this is a pretty good idea to do incline for the majority, just because it's going to be probably the weakest muscle of the chest, so the upper pec. Big focus here, obviously chest up, butt tucked into the seat, elbow drive. Make sure you're not using your shoulders to actually press the weight. Kept it pretty light, nice and slow, trying to feel the stretch. Obviously, now here's a close-up of my face, trying to describe where I went wrong, because I just did 2 back exercises in a row, from the cable pullovers to the seated cable rows, and I'm trying to figure out where I messed up. So now, to make up for that double back in a row exercise, I went straight to another chest exercise after incline press. So this is going to be standardly called your chest flies, or people like to call it a pec deck. These machines vary between gyms, and sometimes some are better than the others, but I do like this one. Sometimes I like to put a pad behind my back just to accentuate the position of my chest and to actually like isolate it a little bit more. Moving on from pec decks, assisted pull-ups. This is kind of like an ego thing for me. I don't like to do body weight pull-ups just because I don't feel like I can do the slow and controlled contraction portion of it very well. So I like to do assisted. I do encourage everybody to try and do assisted as much as possible. Just because the mind-muscle connection, when you actually get it down, is actually pretty bizarre. So that's pretty much the gist of what I like to do for back and chest. I think I did 4 exercises per muscle group. That's going to land me at about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe a tad more. Tied in with some cardio, I'm at the gym for 2 hours. If I hit the sauna, maybe a little bit longer, but that's going to be it. And I do have some great news. We have sound back for the posing session. All right, first day back in 3 days, taking off for a little bit of recuperation and resetting, and I don't know, just laziness, which is okay. I'm okay with it. We still look. We're not going to lose much. Honestly, I probably could do with more rest and relaxation than I actually give myself. I probably look better, but until a coach tells me to do so, I will continue on this train of putting myself through unforgiving pain and suffering. So, front double by. Do a front lat spread. Into a side chest. To a side tricep. Back double bicep, and then the rear lat spread. Hopefully that looks good. I'm tired. We've been here for like 3 hours.
So let's call that a day. And let's go home. I gotta start working out abs though, for real, for real. Whew.